Marvel Rivals is finally out, and after playing for a few days, I think it's time to give my thoughts no one asked for. Just to kick things off, Marvel Rivals is the 6v6 third person hero shooter by NetEase Games. I didn't want to make any assumptions because a 6v6 hero shooter where you get to play as Marvel characters, well, sign me the fuck up. But I had concerns that it's just going to be a cheap Overwatch clone or it's just going to look like some off-brand mobile game, or both. When the beta came out, which I didn't get to play, but I heard a lot of good things. So the hype was getting real, and now that it's here, this shit is legit. And I gotta say, Overwatch has some real competition, and I think they should be concerned about Marvel Rivals. But let's talk about that later. Now, the launch itself was pretty good, and I didn't really have any issues with the game, which I wouldn't think of it as bad and be more understanding as it is day one launch. But good to see nothing really came out in my experience. Some things I do wish they would improve on is the startup and load times into games. It's been common for me to hear the announcer saying that the game is starting, while the loading screen is still up. Starting up the game also takes a while. I've been told that this can be fixed by putting the game in an SSD. I haven't tried it yet and mileage may vary. Hello, this is me from the future. Putting Marvel Rivals in your SSD helps resolve these issues, so keep that in mind. Now to get into the meat and potatoes of Marvel Rivals, which are its characters. Marvel Rivals gives us 33 characters to play with, and it's all for free. And they are separated into three types, which are Vanguard, Duelists, and Strategists, which are tanks, DPS, and supports, respectively. Each hero in Marvel Rivals brings their own unique abilities, weapons, and ultimate abilities. It's not just some flavor of gun for the main weapon, and actually gives us some variety. You got your melee heroes like Iron Fist, Captain America, you got your ranged heroes like Hawkeye and Hela, assassins like Spider-Man and Psylocke, and many more. Some heroes are pretty easy and straightforward, like Punisher. Look at his character details. Pretty straightforward, very easy to understand. You run and shoot. And there are some characters that have way too much going on, and I feel like I need a degree to learn them. Don't let this scare you though. Just play a game or two with the character and all of it will generally make sense. Again, you have 33 characters to choose from, and there is sure to be a character that will be right for you. I haven't gotten to play everyone because I'm just spamming the shit out of Psylocke because she's fun to play.
Yeah, boy.
I think they got the power fantasy of each character, which I think is important for any game that involves superpowered individuals. Even when fighting against them, it feels believable. Like I could see this in an MCU movie or TV show. Well, mostly. I don't think I can imagine John Bernthal spawning a turret for the next Punisher show. But I understand that this is a separate timeline. Iron Man flies in his suit, firing repulsor blasts and unibeams. Spider-Man is swinging around, firing coom balls at people, and Squirrel Girl fires...
These nuts.
While there is no doubt that there is a tier list of what's good and what's not, just search up Marvel Rivals tier list and there's already a boatload of content about those. All heroes do feel effective and I don't feel bad when I see certain characters. Unlike in Overwatch. I'm looking at you, Widowmaker and Junkrat. I also have to say that bringing us 33 characters on launch is pretty impressive. And it's all for free. I think that is what's blowing my mind right now. Overwatch came out with 21 characters, but we had to pay for it. And Paladins is free, but it came out with 7 characters unlocked by default, and the rest you had to unlock by earning currency like League of Legends. Everyone generally feels powerful. I found myself thinking every character is just kicking my ass. Even the supports hurt and get kills, which is good. Supports don't feel like heal bots and can take a more active approach by dealing damage and helping players have more options by making sure all roles are fun and feel impactful. Take Psylocke for example. She's a psionic assassin. She looks at you and you're dead. She's supposed to hurt. And then you got this fish with legs.
What's good, Nyaka?
Spitting at me like I deserve it. Don't let this cute face deceive you. He will open his mouth and swallow like it's on the first date, and he will kill you by spitting you out of the map, and all you can see are his stubby legs just walk away like nothing ever happened. Look Look at him though. He's so cute. Look at him. Look at this little shit over here. Characters also have team up abilities, which are abilities that can be passive or active that are available when certain heroes are on a team. Some heroes receive the bonus abilities and some heroes give the bonus abilities, like Spider-Man and Penny Parker when they're teamed up with Venom, giving them the symbiote which gives them the ability to deal damage around them and push enemies back. Only Penny Parker and Spider-Man get the symbiote ability, and Venom gives them the ability. I think that this is a cool touch where you can see Marvel characters work together, and I can't help but be reminded of the team-up attacks of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. You can see more details on the team-up abilities and how they work on the hero screen under team-ups in the main menu. One thing they can improve on here is that they add more vanguards and strategists because right now there are way more duelists than both roles combined. Marvel Rivals looks really good with an aesthetic that comes straight out of comic books. From the models of the characters to the animated splash art to the amazing animations when you select the hero in the menu screen. It does look like love and care was put into it when they were creating the look for Marvel Rivals. Character designs look great. Did I say great? I mean, fucking amazing. NetEase didn't just give us cake.
Damn, boy, he's sick, boy!
They gave us the whole goddamn bakery. Not just the whole bakery. They even gave us wood. Do you get it? Wood. I'm talking about they knew what they were doing when they were designing their characters. They're coming for the top spot for the Corn Hub, top spot for the R34. They're getting the gamers and the gooners with Marvel Rivals. Heroes already have cosmetics out the gate, which is great to see. Unlike a certain ugly mole rat, it does feel like I'm being fed a lot of flashing lights, like I'm a kid at an amusement park, but in the best way possible. I do get some mobile game vibes, but it's mostly on the menu screen and the end screen at the end of each match, where you see all the characters lined up. It's nothing crazy in my opinion, just something to point out that it's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it. If that's not your thing, sorry. I'm also not a fan of the player select screen. I understand it's a lot of characters to go through, but the user experience of having to scroll for each character is meh at best. I think there's a better way to go about it. Other than that, I got nothing else to say about it other than this game is pretty. This game got cake. Good job, NetEase. Good job going for the gooners. During games, you can swap to any character you want because as of now, there are no set amount of vanguards, duelists, and strategists per team. And I think that's good. I think NetEase should let the game cook for a while to see if there needs any adjustments or if role queue needs to be added. I think it's a good way for them to test their designs and balance because if I had to choose between having role queue and having no role queue, I think right now, I'd rather have no role queue. Do you want 3 vanguards, 1 duelist, 2 strategists? Go ahead. Do you want a team of all duelists? Just play rank. They're fucking everywhere. Thinking about it now, having role queue kinda does make sense to ensure that you have a balanced team. Especially in ranked games if you're solo queuing, but I think this applies more if you want to be sweaty and climb ranked. You just cannot have the same copy of heroes in a team like Day 1 Overwatch. I do like the freedom of coming up with different team comps, especially taking into consideration the possible team-up abilities we cram into one team. Now that I also think about it, I'm not sure if having role queue would even work because of the team-up abilities, because everyone benefits from having a character in the team which is in a mix of all 3 roles. For sure, there's going to be optimal teams and formats to play, and I think this will really just matter to the sweats and the top of rank play. So, if you're not in that, play what you want, but play for the team. Will there be something like GOATs or double shields from Overwatch? Something that will just take over the meta and ruin some of the experience of Marvel Rivals? Maybe. And I hope NetEase is prepared to balance and address it when needed because kinda hope they stick with no role queue. But that's just me. At the end of each game, we are given the MVP of the match. But no play of the game. I don't like this. Give me my play of the game, Netties. I enjoy watching amazing moments that happen in our games, especially if it comes from me. Because, oh my god. Sure, we can watch the highlights of each player by clicking on them, but I end up not watching them really and just end up watching my own just to see what the game wants to show me in terms of being my play of the game. But this isn't always the case either. I think we can keep those along with having a play of the game and MVP screens. Why not really congratulate players who performed well and give incentives for other players to improve so that they can get their time in play of the game or being the MVP? Marvel Rivals introduces destructible environments to the hero shooter genre. And this is an interesting spin into the level design and gameplay. You can destroy certain sections that will either remove the whole structure or just damage enough to create holes to create new strategic opportunities for angles of attack or paths to flank enemies. I think this also adds to the power fantasy of being a superhero or villain, where you can just shape the environment with your power. After some time, the environment will repair itself into its original state, so it's not permanent. You can see which parts of the map are destructible by pressing B and seeing the glowy parts. You're probably going to want to take advantage of this by memorizing and taking advantage of what to destroy and how to use said destroyed environment. But since I'm a bit challenged up there, I'll just work with whatever happens for now. Certain sections of stages also change as the match progresses, so maps always feel like they're fresh and evolving, so that's very interesting to see gameplay wise. There's so much more to cover about Marvel Rivals, and I feel like I barely scratched the surface. But overall, what do I think of Marvel Rivals? Do I think it's good? Yeah, I definitely think it's fun. Character designs look great. Moment to moment gameplay fantastic. They are bringing something new to the table in the hero shooter space with destructible environments and team up abilities, and I think it's worth your attention. However, it's not perfect. The roster of characters is huge, but tank and support mains get the short end of the stick in terms of choices, as DPS has more heroes than tanks and supports combined, with vanguards at 8, strategists at 7, and duelists at 18. There are also performance issues if you're not playing Marvel Rivals in an SSD as well. These are mostly felt on startup and loading into a match. Play of the game is missing, and instead you get MVP and viewable highlights at the end screen, but to me, this is a downgrade. I'd much rather see a play of the game even if it's not from me, or anyone from my team. I'd suggest adding that in with everything else already present at the end game screen. The biggest plus I think for Marvel Rivals is that it's free, which is pretty crazy. So go play Marvel Rivals. Like I said a while ago, it deserves your attention. I also gotta say, it's been like around 2 weeks since release, and queue times are unreal. It's so fast. I queue up thinking I can get me a snack or a drink, but nope, as soon as you press the button, you're in the next game. And now, what do I think about Overwatch? With all this in mind, because let's face it, Blizzard is not having a great time right now with the release of Marvel Rivals competing against Overwatch, Path of Exile 2 competing with Diablo 4. I don't know what the state of that is. I just noticed more people are playing Path of Exile 2 on launch than Diablo 4 on launch. I could be wrong, but this is just an observation from me. We even have former Blizzard CEO Mike Ibarra making a comment saying that Black Widow copied Widowmaker from Overwatch when Black Widow came out in the 60s. And are we not going to make the comparison for the sake of argument that Widowmaker stole from the sniper from TF2? But I don't hear Gaben bitching about it. I don't know what the context is here, or if there's supposed to be a 2000 IQ joke that just whoosh over my plebeian brain, but I think it's concerning if a CEO, or in this case, a former CEO of an entertainment company, would legitimately make statements like this. I don't want to go far into it now, so back to what I think about Overwatch from what I consider a casual player's perspective. Do I think this will kill Overwatch? I don't think it's gonna kill Overwatch. What I do think is that Marvel Rivals will be a serious competition for the top spot of the hero shooter genre. I don't think this is a bad thing, and I refuse to see the negatives, especially for a beloved IP such as Overwatch. Keep in mind that I'm not calling it 2, as we'll call it as it is. Overwatch 2 is a patch that changed Overwatch from 6v6 to 5v5, with PvE pretty much out the window, which is the point of Overwatch 2. It made tanks into raid bosses that put a lot of stress and responsibility into tank players. Now they're trying or tried out 6v6 again. I'm not updated and I'm not gonna bother checking. And those implications are its own video to discuss. Will Overwatch go back to 6v6? How will this affect rank play? If it will stay 5v5, will 6v6 become a permanent fixture if enough people want it that bad? Or will it become an event-only thing where those who want 6v6 will only have their preferred mode stay a pipe dream? How will it affect balance? Or are they just going to make 6v6 with 5v5 character balance? What I do hope from all of this is that Blizzard will take this as an opportunity to take a step back and improve Overwatch further so that they can stand side by side, because I don't think people want Overwatch gone. I think they just want to see it improve and shine like how it was when it was released in 2016. What do they have to do? I don't really know, but I do feel that they are just coasting and putting all their efforts into giving us more options to spend their money on skins, on characters that are popular, and leaving others in the dust. Look at Venture, he's goddamn dripless. I know he's getting that Avatar collab as Toph, but that's a collab skin. Does that really count? I want to see Blizzard made skins for Venture. Are we just gonna think Venture was just a fever dream? Does he not exist? Oh god. I think I misgendered. Oh, they're gonna come after me. In short, Blizzard, look at Marvel Rivals and see why they're getting the success they deserve. And look at what you have. Overwatch is still a beloved IP, and not just for the Rule 34. Even though it helps, I think you can still do much with it. What that is, again, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, League of Legends has Arcane. Maybe you can do a show. I think people will watch an Overwatch show. I mean, Blizzard has a history of making amazing cinematics. Why not take advantage of that? You know, content is content. Alright, that's enough Overwatch rant. Hopefully I made sense. I'm just gonna play more Marvel Rivals now.